Okay, so let me rename it event objects, and yeah. Okay, so what are event objects? For one thing, we know that it is related to objects, and we have discussed about objects. So can you please remind me, what are objects? What were the objects? What are objects?
The data store.
Yeah, they store the data. Good. So what is the difference between arrays and objects? Both of them store the data, but how they store the data is where they differ from each other. So when you want to store a lot of data, a lot of different kind of data, you use arrays. Okay, and when you want to store a lot of different kinds of data that is related to a single thing, that is where you use the objects. Okay, for example, we have books. In fact, you guys have created the book kind of like a book store, where you have a lot of books, and each book had a lot of properties. So keeping that example, we have, if we have a lot of books, we would use arrays. Okay, and if we have a lot of properties that are related to the same book, we will use objects. Okay, so today the project we are going to create in order to learn all of the stuff would be the drum. Okay, so basically like a piano or like a drum. So let's do, I guess, yeah, drum. Let's first do the images, and I need the icons. So first let's design, and then we can add the functionality, and then I can tell you what we have to do. So let's say this. Yeah, I guess it's good. Okay, so what we want to do is, we would have like 5 divs or 4 divs, or how many divs you want, whatever divs you want, let's say 4, and each one would have an instrument. For example, this one would be a drum, this one would be, what more do we have in drums? Like I haven't played the drums. What is this thing called, this one? A disc? Oh yeah, something like that. Okay, so let's say this
Yeah,
one.
okay.
Yeah, so this one would be, let's say this one is going to be drum, this one is going to be the disc, and what more elements do we have in a drum? uh,
The sticks.
well, the sticks are used to, drum the drum. So let's say we have the disc, we have the drum. What more elements do we have? Or maybe let's do piano. Okay, let's do piano. This one would be the first key for the piano, this one will be the second key, this one will be the third key, this one will be the fourth key, and each key is going to be controlled with my keyboard. Okay, let's say this one is going to be controlled with W, this one is going to be controlled with A, S, D. So whenever I click on W, this thing is going to be played. Whenever I click on A, this one, S with this one, and D is going to play this one. So all of these would have different sounds. Okay, and whenever I click the respective key, the relevant sound is going to be played. Okay, so this is what we want to do today. So let us create the layout like this first, and this one is pretty simple. We'll go with Bootstrap. Let's put Bootstrap here. So each one is side by side. So what should we do? Which class are we going to use in order to have them?
Row.
Yeah, good. We can use row. And how much is each element taking? Like, what's the column width each one is taking? We have 4 elements. 3. Good. So call LG3, and inside the call LG3 we would have a card, so we can put the space between them. And let's do some shadows with padding and with border 0. Perfect. And inside it we would have images. So let's say we want the piano. Like, no, not the piano. Maybe, what more instruments do we have? I guess let's stick with the drums maybe, because we would have a lot of sounds for the drums but not for the piano. So the first one is gonna have this image and with a width of 100%, and all of this let's make it go inside a container mx auto, so we would have it in the center. And yeah, so beneath this image we would have the respective key which is going to play this. So let's say inside the same card we would have h5 with w. Yeah, perfect. So let's make it go in the center. Let's remove the shadow so we can, we won't have this difference in the colors. Yeah, perfect. Let's make the w big so it's more prominent. Display 3 maybe. Perfect. And fw bold. Yeah, so this one is the first image, and let's do this one to be the second. Copy image address, copy all of the column down, change the image address. Let's make it go with a. It's not the same in height, but we can fix that. This drum maybe. No, I want the png one. Yeah, it's good. So copy this column again, paste the image URL, and for the last drum we can use this. We haven't also discussed about how do we play sounds in JavaScript, right? We haven't discussed about that.
No, we haven't.
Okay, this one is going to cover all of it. So we have the W, we have the A, this one is going to say S, and this one is going to say D maybe. Perfect. Now we just want these images to have the same width and height. So what we can do is, for the width part, wherever we have width, I'm going to select all of it using control. Wait, there's the shortcut. So how do I select the next instance of this width? Like I want to select this width as well. What's the shortcut? What's the shortcut so I can select the next place where the width is being written? How can I do that?
Control D.
Good, control D. So I think I haven't told you about the shortcut. If you want to select everything that is being started with the width, like control D is only going to select the next instance of this width, but I want to select this one and this one as well. Like I want to select everything that is like this, like width to be 100%. So what's the shortcut for that? Control Shift L. This one is going to select everything inside our file. Like it's not going to just select the next thing, it's going to select everything that is that has the same thing. So it's going to select all of it, and now we have to put height as well. Height maybe let's say 200 px is good, but these images are now stretched up. So how can we fix that? How can we fix it? These images are stretched. Look, this one is squeezed, this one is stretched. So we have a property. Let's do inline styling. The property is called object fit, and I think we have discussed about this. Have we? In the previous project we
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
So the cover is gonna make sure that it covers the entire parent. It's gonna crop it from the sides, but it's gonna cover everything. Look, the image is basically cut from the sides, but it's covering the entire parent. But I think this isn't good, so let's go with contain. Okay, this image is like it has more height as compared to the other images, so we can just change the image maybe. So let's change the second image. Yeah, it's kind of good. Okay, so our layout is now ready. So now what we want to do is we want to play the sounds, and the sounds are going to be played only when the specific key is pressed. Okay, so now let's start the JavaScript. so inside the body, but at the last I'm going to put the script tag. So what was the first question we need to ask ourselves? What is the first question? What is the first question we need to ask ourselves when we are starting with JavaScript? Like, what do we want to do? What do we want to work on? Okay, we want to work on these elements. Okay, but importantly, we want to work on our window object. Like, I want to listen for an event that is coming from my mouse or from my keyboard. Like, keys are present on mouse and keyboard.
Keyboard.
So up until this point we have discussed only about the mouse events like click and mouse move and events like that, but this time we are targeting our keyboard. Okay, so the event listener is going to be implemented on window. Okay, and window refers to everything, like everything inside our body is window. So I'm going to put window here. This is going to listen for the key presses on entire window, not on any specific elements. So window dot add event listener. Okay, and add event listener is what is add event listener? It's
A
a
function.
good, a function that is going to take how many parameters from us?
2.
Two. Good. The first parameter is what?
The type.
Event.
Yeah, good, event type. So now we are not targeting click. Okay, we don't want to click and play the sounds. We want to press the key. Okay, now we are targeting keyboard events. Now keyboard has three events. Okay, so let me put comment here. We have key up. Then wait, first let me write all of the events, then I can explain all of these events. Then we have key down, and then we have key press. What do you think key up refers to? What does key up mean?
Arrow up.
Key up, like key refers to every key on our keyboard. Key up would mean that I'm holding down my key and then I'm letting it go. Okay, so this event is only going to be fired off when I click and let go my key. It's only going to be started after I let go of my key. Key down would mean I am pressing my key constantly, like I'm not letting it go. So key down would only run if the key is pressed. Key press is a mixture of key up and key down, but key press has you can say fewer key accesses as compared to key down. Let's see the practical here. First I'm going to say key up, and the second parameter is a function. Okay, so anything I write here is only going to be executed once I press the key and then I let it go. So what I want to do is I just want to console.log, yeah, key up event triggered. So this is my window. I'm pressing my key, but I am not seeing anything in the console. Why is that? I'm pressing the key, but I'm not seeing anything in the console because I haven't let go of the key I pressed. So now I'm letting it go. So the moment I let go, we would have key up event triggered. Let me do it again. I'm pressing the key, okay, but I'm not letting it go. The moment I let go my key, I would see the event being triggered. Here you go. So does that make any sense that like when this key up is going to be triggered? When I click my key and then I let it go, it's only going to be executed then. Does that make
So
any
this
sense?
one was so the key up would be for all the keys.
Yeah, it would be for all of the keys, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so let's now do key down. This would mean I'm not letting go my key, I'm just pressing my key constantly. So let me change it. Okay, now I'm pressing any key. Okay, so I'm not letting it go. So what's happening here is it's constantly being ran, it's constantly being executed. The moment I let go, it's gonna stop. Okay, is the key up and key down events clear?
Yes.
Okay, great. any, it's going to target any key. Okay, it doesn't matter, it will target any key. Okay, we have a lot of accesses for the key down. Key pressed on the other hand is kind of like a mixture of key down and key up, but this time on key press we have little access, fewer access as compared to key down. Key down has access to all of the keys in the keyboard, whereas key press has access to specific keys. Okay, let me show you how. If I press U or any other key, okay, it's gonna run. But if I press any function keys, it's not going to be executed. Look, it's not executing. I'm pressing F6 at the moment. Okay, so the difference between key down and key press is key down has access to each key, whereas key press do not have access to specific keys. Okay, any questions?
No.
Okay, great. So now my question is, we want to do, well, wait, let me first remove this LG and do the MD so we can have them aligned side by side. Yeah, perfect. So now my question is, which event are we going to use for this drum? Key up, key down, or key press? When do we want to play our drum? After I leave my key, or if I keep on pressing my keys, or which event am I going to use? Key down, key up, or key press?
I think keydown.
Like it's gonna keep on playing if I were to, you know, hold my key. If I were to use key down, it's gonna keep on playing. I want to play the, like how do you play the drums? You basically strike the sticks on a drum and then just leave it off, like take it
Maybe
off.
key press.
Uh, yeah, we can do key press, but key press would have little access. Yeah, we can let's do key press. So yeah, key press, and here you go. But now comes the main topic. How do we know which key is being pressed? Now this is the main questions. Like we don't know which element, which key is being pressed. For example, wait. Let's say salam. So whichever key I press is gonna give me salam. It doesn't matter which key I press. It's still gonna give me salam. So now we need to find a way which is going to tell us which key is being pressed. Like when do I want to play these sounds? Do I want to play these sounds on each key press or specific key presses?
Specific.
Exactly. So we need to find a way that is going to tell us which key is being pressed, and who is gonna do that? Event object is gonna do that. Event objects are basically objects that you get after performing that specific event. For example, when we perform this key press event, we have a lot of information that is being returned to us. Okay, this function basically has a lot of information that is being returned when we perform this key press event. Okay, and how can we access that information? Using event object. And how do we access that event object? So inside the second parameter, that is our function, we can take a parameter, okay, whichever parameter you want, like it can be named whatever you want. But again, the standard practice is you use event, you can write event, you can use EVE, or you can use E, and the simplest one is E. Okay, what again, you can take whatever parameter name you want. So when we perform this key press event, all of the information that this key press event returns us is going to be stored inside this E, and this E is going to tell us which key is being pressed. Okay, so what is this event object? Event object is basically the information that we get after performing that specific event. In this case, key press event. So whenever I perform key press event, we would have a lot of information that is going to be stored inside this E, including the key press that I am pressing. Does that make any sense? This concept is really important. If it doesn't, please tell me. I'm going to repeat it again.
Can you repeat it again?
Yeah. Okay. So first we need to understand our problem. And what is our problem? And the problem is we want to know which key is being pressed. Okay, So whenever you perform any kind of event, it can be key press, it can be click, it can be mouse move, like any event. Whenever you perform any event in JavaScript, you have a lot of information that is being returned when that event is performed. When the event is completed, you are returned with a lot of information, and that information is stored inside this function. Okay, and how do you access that information? Using a parameter inside this function. Like that parameter can be named whatever you want. It doesn't have to be anything specific. It can be whatever you want. Okay, it can be even your name. Okay, it doesn't matter. But again, the standard practice is either you write event, like all of the information is going to be stored in this event, or you can write eve, okay, or you can write e, and the most simplest one is e, but again you can write whatever you want. So whenever you are going to perform an event, in this case this is key press, so you have a lot of information that is going to be returned to you, and all of that information is going to be stored inside this e. Okay, so this e is basically holding your information that is coming from the event performed. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now let us see what kind of information do we have. Like just console.log e. I can't see anything here. Why is that? Because this console log is only going to work when is it going to work?
When you do key press.
Exactly, good. Like any key press, or it has to be specific?
Specific.
At the moment it can be anything at the moment. Okay, so let's press a key. Here you go. So we have, what do we have? We have a lot of information, and that information is structured in an object. These brackets are for the objects. So if I were to open it, this is the information that is being returned to us after the key press. Like it's a lot of information. Like you have is trusted, like is the key press performed by a human or a bot? This is telling us this. Alt key is false. What does this mean? Like alt key false. What do you think this refers to? Like I've pressed the key and it's saying alt key false. It means that I haven't pressed alt key as I'm pressing the button. For example, if I were to press alt key and then press a button, it's going to show me nothing because I'm using key press, and key press has access to specific things, not alt key. Okay, anyways, so if I were to open it, we have a lot of information, but what we want to have is which key is being pressed. So what do you think we need in order to check which key is being pressed? Which thing is telling me which key is being pressed? Which thing here tells me which key is being pressed? Is that
Key
key R? Yes, key R is the value. And what is the property for that?
Is it the type? Key.
This
Code.
code. This code is telling me this key R is pressing. Code is also telling me the key. And if we were to go down a bit, we have this key variable that is telling us which key is being pressed. Okay, and also I think we would have we have something else as well.
Where is the key variable?
Here it is.
The type?
Here it is. This one.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
So we have two things that's telling us which key is being pressed. We have the code, and we have the key. Let me press another key. Let's say I'm going to press Q here this time. So if I were to go to code, now it's saying key Q, and if I were to see the key variable is stored as Q. Now let me press the capital Q. So yes, now we have the key to be capital Q. Okay, so whichever key I'm pressing, all of that information is stored where? Where is all of the information stored against this key press?
In the E.
In the E. And what is the E?
The event.
Very good, the event object. And when do we get the event object? When do we get the event object? When we Very good. When we perform any event, we get the event object, and that event object is going to store a lot of information for you, like a lot of useful information for you. In this case, the useful information is inside the key or the code. Okay, so now let's move towards how do we get that specific thing. Like E has a lot of information, even the information that we don't need. We just want to have this key information, and this key is stored inside the E. So now my question is, how do we access specific things inside an object? In fact, you guys have did one of that big assignments, like when you created the book list. So how do we access specific things inside an object? I'm not gonna answer this time. You have to tell me, because you guys did the assignments, like the big assignments.
Sorry, what's the question?
The question is, how do we access values inside an object? Like, do you guys remember you have accessed the author information inside the book, the title of the book? Wait, let me open the assignments. Maybe then you guys would remember. Okay, so here's the assignment. And come on. Why isn't it opening? Let me see the submitted assignments as well. Nah, this is it. Let me see your submitted assignments.
Are you talking about when we used like let,
Yeah, it has something to do with that.
and then we did like the brackets, and we did the
Yeah, exactly that.
yeah.
Here you go. Let me download this one. And here's the assignment. Like, you had the books, and it had a lot of information, like the book name, the author name, the pages, and all of it was stored inside an object. It's the same object. Okay, that's why I was asking you guys, because you guys did all of the assignments, like these were the big assignments.
Oh yes, I remember. Yeah.
And how did you access that specific information? Like, if you wanted to access the book name, you used dot operator, like this, the dot operator. Okay, if you want to access any specific information inside an object, you use dot. Like in this case, you used items dot book name, and if you wanted to have pages, you said items dot pages. So similarly, just like here, if you want to access the key, it is inside this E, and E is an object. And if you want to access anything inside an object, we use which operator? Which operator do we use? Dot operator. Yes, good. So if you want to get the key, I'll just say E dot key, and that's it. So let's see. Look, it's only returning me the key I am pressing. Okay, does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now what I want to do is, I want to bind my program to only respond me when these specific keys are being pressed. Now we do know how do we get the keys. We get the keys using E dot key. Like whenever I press my keyboard, whenever I click on my any key, that key is being stored inside E dot key. So now I want to console log only if W, A, S or D is being pressed. So how can we do that? How can we do that? I only wanted to respond. Yes.
Conditions.
Very good. Conditions. We are going to use conditions. So what are we going to write inside the conditions? Respond me only if e dot key is equals to w, or e dot key is equals to a, or e dot key is equals to s, or e dot key is equals to d. So I've told you how we are going to write it. Now you have to tell me about the code. So how do we write it?
So we write if
Good. If, and then
e dot key.
very good. E dot key. Good.
Equal to w. Like
Single equal or double equal?
double.
Double, because we are comparing. If e dot key is equals to w, then we just have to console.log w is pressed. Then let's check for the next condition. How can we do that?
Then we console log a.
No, this one is console logging for the w. Okay, now we want to check for the a. Like if w is not pressed, let's check for the a. Very good. Else if, then
And then parentheses e dot key.
yeah, double equals to a,
A. Yeah.
and then console.log a is pressed. Similarly, let's check for the s. How can we do that?
So else if again.
Else if again, good. If e dot key,
E dot key.
yeah, is equals to s,
And then double equal to s.
and then we can say s is pressed,
Log
and then
s is pressed. Yeah.
And-
And then we do else if again.
yeah, good. Else if again, can't we do else only?
We'll do else if.
Yeah, good. Because if you were to do else, it's gonna respond to every key.
Yeah.
Okay, we just have good.
Specifically the keys.
Exactly. We just have to check for these keys. So let's
Yeah.
save it. Now I'm pressing L. Okay, it's not going to respond. Why isn't it responding?
For L,
Yeah, for L.
because we don't have that option.
Exactly. Good. Let's press the W now. It's responding me. Let's do the A.
Yeah.
Responding. S. D. Let's do X. It's not going to do anything because it's only going to work when we press these specific keys. Perfect. Now we are getting close to our project. Now what we want to do is we want to play sounds as these keys are pressed. Okay, now this one is really interesting. So how do we play sounds in using JavaScript? For example, have you guys played that? I'm gonna ask you again. The dinosaur game. When you don't have the internet connection, basically that dinosaur game pops up.
No, we played a game called Temple Run.
On the computer or on the mobile phones?
On the phone.
No. Have you played any games on the internet? Wait, let me let's do a game we used to play when we were like really young. Okay, so it was Bubble Trouble. Yeah. So if I were to shoot an arrow, we would have, wait, can you guys hear the sound when basically this player ends up dead? So this sound is being played by JavaScript. And can you guys tell me how is this player moving? Which event is being executed here? Like how is it moving? Which event is being executed? Like we just
Key press.
Key up.
key up. No, it's not key up. Sorry, I'm pressing the key and it's constantly doing it. So it's not key up.
Key down.
It's key down. Good. So when I shoot, which key is being pressed? It's constantly shooting it. So which key is being pressed? I'm constantly pressing the
Key
space.
down.
Yeah, key down again. Okay. So if the player dies, we have the sound playing. Okay. So now we are basically we want to do the same thing. Like when I click on specific key, where's the assignment? Yeah, here it is. So when I click on specific key, I want the sound to play just like we have in Bubble Trouble. Okay. So let's do it. So first we need to get the sounds. So how do we get the sounds? Let's say drum sounds and effects. We have a website called Pixabay, and then we have another thing, yeah, Mixkit. We have two websites that are going to get us let us use free sounds, Pixabay and Mixkit. So let's go with Pixabay, and let's get the sounds that are small. Yeah, this one. Let's download it. Can you guys hear the sound?
No.
Wait, let me do it again. Now, still can't?
No.
Why is that? Wait. You guys need to hear the sounds because, well, is it capturing the desktop audio? Is just capturing. Well, you guys should hear the sounds because it's capturing everything. Okay, let me connect the bigger speakers. Can you now? I think you still can't hear.
I hear something like very low volume. I'm not sure if that's the drums you're playing.
Wait, let me increase the. Now? I think you still can. And it basically is not going to work for us because we need to hear the sounds in order to execute this. Okay, so
Can
I
you try
can.
the other sound? I'm not sure if it's just that one.
Okay. Now?
No.
Okay. Huh, so what can we do? What can we do? We have to do something like Google should, let you hear the sound. So why isn't it letting you hear the sounds with desktop audio settings? And okay, maybe you can hear the sounds on the recorded lectures. Okay, but I can assure you the sound is being played, okay, here. So if you were to review the lectures, you would probably hear the sounds. Okay, so let me download it. And yeah, the first sound, let's do another sound. Make sure the sounds are small so that we just have this 1 second. Yeah, this one as well. We have now two sounds. Let's go to Mixkit. It's too big. Yeah, download it. And last one, maybe this. Yeah. Okay, so now we have 4 sounds. Okay, now what we want to do is, back in our code, I'm gonna create a folder here, and let's say I'll call it drum sounds, and I'm gonna take all of these sounds and put it inside my drum sounds folder. So first, second, third, and fourth. Let me rename it so I can call it easily. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Can you hear now, or you still can't?
Yes, I heard that.
Okay, thank God. Okay, so what about now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now that's really good. I think it has something to do with the website. Okay, so now what we want to do is, when we click on this W, I want to play this first sound, on A the second, and so on for the other two sounds as well. So how do we play sounds using JavaScript? So what you are going to do is, first of all, I'm going to take a variable, not here, here. So I'm going to take a variable, let's call it audio. Okay, and now we have a class in JavaScript, like we have something called a classes. Okay, so classes are like, you can say, big buildings. Okay, If you want to show somebody a building, you don't basically take the building and just take it to that person. You take the map of that building, and then you can go to that person and show everything about the building. So basically classes are like the buildings, and then we can create maps for those classes. In short, what I want to say is there is a class in JavaScript, and if you want to use a class, you have to put new keyword. Okay, you have to put new here, and then there's a built-in thing called audio. Okay, this audio is basically is going to help us play the sounds. So I'm going to put audio and then parenthesis. Okay, so now which audio do we want to play when I click on W? Which audio do I want to play? The first one. Okay, I'm going to redirect it to the first audio. So where is my first audio present? Inside the drum sounds, and the name is 1.mp3. Please give me 1 minute. Okay, so which audio do we want to play when I click on the W sound? It is the 1.mp3. So where is 1.mp3 located? Inside the drum sounds, and the drum sound is inside the same folder as my event objects.html. So how many dots am I going to put? If it's in the same folder, how many dots do I need to put? One. Good. So it's inside the drum sounds and 1.mp3. Perfect. Now after assigning the audio variable, the second thing we are going to do is I'm just going to say audio, that is my audio variable, and then dot play. It's a built-in function again. So what I've said here is whenever I click on W, what you have to do is you have to play the audio, and audio is what? A variable that is holding our first drum sound. We are going to do the same thing for every other key as well. So I'm going to copy it and paste it here, but this time it's gonna play the second sound. For the third key, I'm gonna do it again, and for the fourth one, the same thing. Okay, so I'm pressing the W key. Can you hear? Can you guys hear the sounds?
No.
Oh, why can't you hear it? Still can't? I think it has something to do with the websites. Like you cannot hear any sounds that are coming from the website, but I can assure you that sound is being played, and when you repeat the class, inshallah you hear the sounds probably. Okay, any questions about the key the event objects? Do you guys have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, so this is your homework. Okay, I'm gonna upload the assignment, and you guys have to do this homework before the next class, like before the tomorrow's class. Okay, if you don't have any questions, you guys can
Do you
leave.
want us to assign the sounds too?
Yeah, you have to do the sounds as well, because when you repeat the class, watch the recording, you would probably hear the recording, because I think it has something to do with the Chrome, that it doesn't allow you to hear sounds coming from the websites. Okay, so it has something to
Okay.
do with the Chrome, but you have to do the audio as well. Okay,
Okay.
so if you don't have any questions, you guys can leave, and inshallah we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Allah
Allah
Hafiz.
Hafiz. Wa alaikum salam.